In the 1980s, a mystery crept along major highways and isolated truck stops.
2 weeks ago, authorities discovered the badly decomposed body of a red-haired woman in Cheatham County near Nashville.
Weeks passed, and more women were found dead.
Now authorities in Greene County discovered the body of yet another red-headed victim.
Public attention just really drew to this idea of one man killing all of these redheads.
The media dubbed it the Redhead Murders.
Let's face it, people are interested in mysteries and people that commit those crimes. You never know what evil lurks in people.
He saw that evil firsthand when responding to a call New Year's morning, 1985.
I went up to the crime scene. The body was found over a guardrail down an embankment. We recovered the blanket and what we felt was the body inside of it.
It wasn't until 2018, using new DNA fingerprint technology, that the victim was identified as Tina Marie Farmer. A year later, another break in the case.
So in December, we announced that we had discovered that DNA located on her body and material that she was wrapped in contained the DNA of Jerry Johns.
What should have been a major break was a bust. Jerry Johns, a former truck driver, was dead. He died in prison, serving time for assaulting, kidnapping, and attempting to kill a young, red-haired woman in Knoxville back in 1985. He strangled that woman and left her on the side of a road to die.
She asked Johns, "Are you going to kill me?" And he said yes.
She made it out alive. Johns was arrested and sentenced to prison in 1987 and died there in 2015. He could have been convicted in Tina's case if he were still alive today.
To discover after all those years that we had identified, who this killer was, but it was deflating to know that he had died, just shortly before our discovery of this DNA.
It begs the question, could Jerry Johns be responsible for all of the Redhead murders?
To be able to say that he is the guy, we're not there. Just because the color of someone's hair is the same, and even just because the cases are the same, it doesn't always add up to enough.
There are 6 known cases spanning several states. Could they be linked?
We're joined by reporter Leslie Ackerson and senior investigative journalist John North from WBIR in Knoxville, Tennessee. Leslie, John, thank you both for joining us. Leslie, this question's for you. Detectives recently discovered Jerry Johns' DNA on Tina Farmer, but now that he's dead, what happens with Tina's case and how will her family get any justice?
Unfortunately, that is one of the disappointing parts about this case. It's exciting to know that after all these years of not knowing in the work that detectives, TBI has put in, that they were able to make that link, but he will never go to courts. He will never go to jail for these crimes because he is dead. I think Tina's family is going to have to walk away with the closure and comfort of knowing that they got that answer, but you don't get to have that final say in court.
Yeah, that is sad. That is hard.
Well, investigators have described Mr. Johns as a very intelligent man. Do you find that to be true? And does he fit like the stereotypical serial killer mold?
Al, he was a smart guy. He was also pretty cunning, and he was also pretty egotistical. He sort of reminded me of Ted Bundy in that he thought he was a little bit smarter than the cops, and he would tell them that. He liked to brag to the cops that he knew all about serial killers, that he'd read about them. And he liked to taunt the cops. They were sort of glad ultimately that justice was served in finding out that he was the man who killed Tina Farmer. He also did a lot of work. He thought he was so smart that he could do his own legal papers, and he would handwrite motion after motion after motion on his own behalf. At one point, one of the victims who survived actually sued him while he was sitting in jail to try to get damages back. This will show you the kind of man he was. He turned around and sued her.
Oh my goodness.
What narcissism. John, I have a question. In your years reporting on these cases, do you feel there is a possibility that Jerry Johns could be linked to other cases? And are police still looking for that theory?
I think there's a great chance that he did do more. We have other unsolved cases in the Southeast, not just Tennessee. But in addition, the TBI is telling us we're still looking into it. So I'm confident but they're looking into it. The question will be, Tori, does the evidence still exist from 30-some years ago to link him to those crimes?
Thank you so much, Leslie and John. Excellent work. To read more on this case, visit WBIR.com. Now, you can also listen to the podcast episode, The Redhead Murders. It's out now. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Thanks again, guys.